Article 131(2) provides for the duties of the presidency include those of national unity and the protection of the rights of the people and the rule of law. The proclamation, therefore, which the President made on August the 6th, is lawful, is time-bound, 120 days, and it seeks to establish a coordination roadmap with clear reporting. And so, therefore, the mechanism itself is ad hoc, it is short-term, and it will move quickly and lawfully. The panel that we intend to create will recommend a victim compensation legal framework targeted at amendments to the Victims Protection Law, which right now is not operational and therefore is not viable for this particular effort that we are carrying out. We'll also be recommending a protest law be submitted to both houses to be codified so that we can be able to de-escalate the protests when they take place. The objective here will be that for the future protests should be safer and should be professionally managed so that the outcomes are different and not deadly to our people. As I mentioned earlier, the justification for this effort is a constitutional duty of a national unity of our country, as provided for in the provisions that I pointed out. But I also want to say that compensation for victims is just one pillar of justice. There are other pillars, like courts, where matters can be heard. Where verification warrants accountability, we shall be making referrals to the office of the ODPP to ensure that cases can be pursued in courts. This effort seeks to pursue a balanced recognition of harm to civilians and to officers. It does not assign any collective blame, and hence it is evidence-led and seeks to pursue a humane redress for the harms suffered. We've decided to pursue the period from January 1st, 2017 to July 31st, 2025. This period we think is long enough, but also short enough to be manageable. We think that compensation of victims is the best place to start this effort. It is because compensation is tangible, it is time-bound, and it is intended to unify our country. The panel that we seek to create will have faces of Kenyans that all of you will be able to recognize and to see that they represent the face of the country. We will draw upon the Law Society of Kenya. We will draw from religious organizations. We will draw from civil society and from youth and women leaders. This panel itself will approve the framework for the compensation process. It will establish the eligibility criteria and the schedules to be followed, and will perform other acts related to compensation. We will be able to ensure in this process compliance with human rights norms and laws, and also adhere to public finance laws. As the President instructed us, our mandate is to deliver within 120 days. We'll also establish a technical team to work with us. And this technical team will draw from various institutions and organizations. Obviously, the Office of the Attorney General, the Executive Office of the President, the Ministry of the Interior, the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, and subject matter experts. All of these institutions and folks will form the backbone of our technical team. We shall also draw from psychology and trauma specialists, statisticians, data scientists, forensic experts, and record keepers and data protection individuals. I suppose that is a warning. The Secretariat will be domiciled at the Office of the President. I just want to say that in spite of the steps that I have outlined, that we have made quite a lot of progress in identifying individuals for both teams, for both the panel and also the technical team. And I expect that we shall be announcing this panel by the end of this week. Thank you so much. And we want your support. And we want you to be our ambassadors throughout the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. Asante. Asante. A hand of applause for Prof and Daktari Agnezani. Professor? Prof. Your Excellencies, the President, Prime Minister, and the Deputy President, with those two presentations, Your Excellency, members, we appreciate the seriousness of not just the implementation of the NADCO report, which we have been appraised on its implementation, and Your Excellency, I must appreciate all the members of Parliament, both in the Senate and in the National Assembly, for the support that they have accorded us in the legislative process of enacting the NADCO legislative bills that we have and those that are still within the two houses. We have committed that we will continue to endeavor to have them adopted and signed into law. Your Excellencies, the 10-point agenda, as has been clearly enumerated by Dr. Agnezani, are not about you as a president or the Prime Minister. These 10 points are about the nation of Kenya. The full implementation of these 10 points are not about ODM as a political party or the Kenya Kwanza coalition parties. They are about the future of our nation. And therefore, as a parliamentary group, we want to commit, Your Excellencies, that we will continue to ensure that we extend the support that is needed by the Agnezani team and also to Professor Makau Mutua's team, because as Professor has alluded to, there will be legislative proposals that will come to the houses, as well as requests for budgetary support in the implementation of the work that these two important committees are doing. Therefore, Your Excellency, allow me to close at that point and to now, Your Excellency, before I invite the Deputy President, we know whether ni fire si fire, noma si noma. We want to hear whether the Deputy President, whether when he says ni fire si fire, ni noma si noma, whether he can earn himself a second term as the Deputy President, as usual, depending on what he says and how he engages with this House. Honorable members, allow me to welcome the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Professor Kithure Kindiki. Very good.
Thank you. I wanted the Leader of Majority to delay a bit because the Prime Minister stepped out, because I wanted to take the shortest time here, having seen what my predecessors have gone through. and you know, and you know, and you know, both my predecessors are just like me from academia. So I was very worried. I wanted really we delay until the Prime Minister comes back. But I'm grateful to what Dr. Zani and team are doing. You're helping the country deal with very, very difficult issues. I am also very impressed by Professor Makao Mutua's work. It's quite a heavy topic that he's handling on behalf of the country. So my sister, Dr. Zani, and my academic senior, Professor Makao Mutua, I wish you Godspeed as you do this on behalf of all of us. Your Excellency, the President, and Your Excellency, Prime Minister, and my colleagues, let me just say two things as we wait for the Prime Minister to come back and address us. The first one is, for the last 33 years, our country has revolved around majorly two political formations. And the difference in the political strength of those two major political formations has not been very big difference. We've been like that since we went into multi-party politics. So that you have a strong party winning, but even the opposition is fairly strong. What that means, therefore, is that our country, like all democracies, requires bipartisan consensus building, especially to deal with serious and heavy national issues and national challenges. I like what my mono in school and the leader of the National Assembly minority side, Junaid said, my distinguished mono. He said that bipartisan, oh, he's back. I was just praising you, Junaid. We need bipartisan efforts to heavily lift the serious national issues. You've seen them in the 10-point agenda. The fight against corruption, the fight against ethnic bias, the fight against all these vices. Without bipartisan efforts, no single side can be able to ever lift these national issues. So let us not underestimate what the leadership of the UDA through President Ruto, the leadership of ODM through His Excellency Raila Odinga has helped us to achieve as a nation. Because none of us alone would have enough political largesse to be able to even lift on some of the issues we are discussing here today. So we are in good space, and for that we must celebrate and acknowledge the visionary leadership of President William Ruto and the visionary leadership and statesmanship of our elder brother, the Honorable Raila Odinga. Going forward, those of us who are younger politicians, we should pick lessons from these two leaders, because there's a lot of excitement by many people who are in the political space, and they think leading the country or managing the country's affairs is a small issue. And some of the characters running up and down around, if they are given this nation to manage even for a day, the country will sink, because they don't have enough wisdom and enough foresight to be able to manage the complex society that is Kenya. So, Prime Minister, we appreciate your leadership, your vision, and you've been able to show us, those of us who are younger politicians, that elections and politics should not undermine the collective interest, stability, and progress of our nation. you have helped us understand that individual ambitions to become whatever we want to become should not stand between us and our country's stability, progress, and sustainability. The last point I want to make now that we have reached where we wanted to reach is that, again, just to emphasize that I am happy to see again many political parties whose leadership is here, but although the NADCO and the 10-point agenda was introduced by the two largest parties, UDN and ODM, we have other allies who have joined us from both sides. And what this means is that the country is generally and gradually forming the national consensus that we are looking for. And therefore, for me, the lesson I pick, even looking at the leadership that has spoken here, Stewart Matzayo from Kilifi, Owen Baya from Kilifi, Junaid Mohammed from Migori, Migori and other places, and myself. Those who have felt that perhaps they need space to show their leadership skills, yet they feel their background, their religion, their ethnicity disadvantages them. Their background, their religion, their ethnicity disadvantages them in a large national party to realize your dream, your potential, and your skills to be tapped than otherwise. And therefore, going forward, as we form coalitions and build our respective parties, let us look towards building national parties as opposed to sectarian parties, because that is where the future of our nation is best assured. So, on that basis, I want to end there, because I saw my colleagues got, I don't know who got no term. I want to end there and wish this meeting all the best. All right. Now, because our leaders are here, after the formal event is over, I'll remain behind, and then we'll also test a few slogans after that. With those many remarks, let me take this opportunity with a lot of respect to request our elder brother, our statesman, the leader of ODM, Your Excellency Raila Odinga, please come and address us. Wapi makofi ya baba jameni? Baba ni fire, si fire.
Mr. President, Deputy President, honorable members of Parliament, hamjambo. Hamjambo tena. Hey, I think I see almost a full house. Senators and members of the National Assembly. Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here this morning to see you. I want to say that I'm charged, but I'm not scared. You know, I've been a member of Parliament for this constituency for 20 years. And I used to meet with members of parliament. I was our prime minister. And every Wednesday was a prime minister's question time in parliament. I used to be harassed a lot by members of parliament. And that's why I'm not scared. But let me begin to say that none of us thought a day would come when protagonists just a year ago would get together to chart a joint way forward for this country. How did we find ourselves together, and why are we here today? One, in life of a nation, there comes a time when danger knocks on the door. It happened in the US during the Civil War that threatened to dismember the USA as we know it today. There's a region today referred to as former Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia existed as a country between 1918 and 1992. Then it fell apart into several countries, including Croatia, Montenegro, Serbia, Slovenia, Bosnia, and Macedonia. The former president of Yugoslavia, the late General Joseph Broz Tito, used to say jokingly that I am the glue that is holding this fragile nation called Yugoslavia together. And if I depart, it may disintegrate in several small nations. And true to his prophecy, that's happened today. There's no Yugoslavia. Closer to home here next door is Somalia. In 1991, we were here when Siad Barre was forced to run out into exile where he died. Look at Somalia today. So there are several examples that exist around the world. As leaders, we are supposed to scan the horizon, spot the danger, and act to subvert that danger. In 2024, that last year, we understood that the dark clouds that were gathering over Kenya could have been exciting, but they could also mark the end of Kenya. We decided that it is better to have an imperfect country that is struggling to mend its ways than to have a collapsed one. We came together to create an environment in which we can discuss our issues and differences as people of one nation. As you know, and as you know here, there are countries that cannot discuss their issues at home. In my life, I've attended many meetings in London, Paris, Istanbul, Washington, name it, where African leaders are ferried to foreign capitals from their own collapsing countries to discuss issues they cannot discuss at home. We go together to spare Kenyan that shame. Our object was and remains one, as one US senator called it, our country, our whole country, and nothing but our country. Having stabilized the nation, how have we performed in the intervening periods? How do we do better? How do we move forward in a way that respects the people of Kenya and that shows that we are alive to the circumstances that triggered our coming together and that we are acting on?